Hi, everybody. I hope you're all well. It's been, I think, 2 weeks since you last saw me. I think I can't remember. But I've been very, very busy with work and other stuff that's been going on. I've also got basically scaffolding all out the front of my house because my neighbour is having work done on their house next door, which requires a load of scaffolding being up. So I've had to contend with that. And also lots of days in the office because of get-together days and training. It just kind of feels like I've been here, there and everywhere over the past 2 weeks. It's been crazy. But key thing is that I have booked leave off because 1st of August is when the new year of leave comes around for where I work to book time off. And I have had confirmed the week that the new Cormoran Strike book is out, I am off. I have also booked a week off in October, and I have booked a holiday in October. I'm going to York, a place where technically I'm from, but I can't remember it. There are pictures of me and my sister when I'm very young in York, in like museums and such. And I have these kind of like snapshot memories, but I don't physically remember being there. Like I can remember being sat in a restaurant, and it was one where it was a giant Yorkshire pudding with the entire meal inside, and with gravy and all that lot. And I remember that being presented to me. I remember it on the table in front of me, but I can't remember anything else about that day. I don't know who I was with. I don't know where that was. But I remember this giant Yorkshire pudding being presented to me. It's really weird. So I would love to go back and explore it as an adult and see if there are things that start to come to mind. And so yesterday I booked my holiday. I'll be going away for 4 days to York, and yeah, it's going to be good. I'm very, very excited about that. And also we are only like 6 weeks, I think it was 6 weeks on Tuesday, away from the new Cormoran Strike book. My God. And the first 50 pages or something have been made available for people to read. And I'm like, oh, that is so tempting. But I have stayed away. If you want to look up about those 50 pages, go to the Robert Galbraith Instagram page or Facebook page or social media, find it, the link's there if you want to read it. But I am no go. I'm like, because if I start reading it, I'm gonna want to carry on, and I won't be able to cope for 6 weeks waiting for the rest of the pages. So I'm being a good girl, and I'm not reading. So it kind of feels like it's, as I said, 2 weeks of here, there and everywhere. Excitement about holidays and such, and counting down the days until we have the new Cormoran Strike book. And because I've got the week that the Cormoran Strike book comes out. As soon as it comes out, just as always, my reading whatever picks I've already picked pauses while I read that book. So yes, you will get that review ASAP. And so that's what I've been up to. Oh, and Dad is doing really well as well. He's pretty much back to his old self, and it's absolutely wonderful, to see him looking so much better, and having a lot more energy and everything. It's been wonderful. Oh, one other thing, I was very, very angry with ITV. They delayed Sanditon Series 3 by 2 weeks. I was so livid, because I think in my last review I was saying how excited I was for Series 3. So this Thursday we are finally getting Series 3 in the UK, and ITV just went, oh, by the way, we've had to delay it for 2 weeks, but here's some pictures in order to to make you feel better and looking forward to the new series. No explanation why. I was very angry, but there we go, by the by. But Thursday is happening, and I am rewatching Sanditon at the moment to prepare for it. And it's going to be great. But anyway, 5 minutes in, and that's my life and everything all sorted, taken care of. Let's talk about the book I have been reading, which is The Clockmaker's Daughter by Kate Morton. Now I'm going to do something that I haven't done in the entire 6 years I've had this. Was it 7 years? Oh my god, that I've had this channel. In that, I'm going to put this back into the jar because I couldn't get past page 50 of this book. I tried and I tried and I tried, and usually I go, no, dead, gone, don't, no. If you can't catch my attention, then I'm not gonna carry on. I had the entire day at home yesterday, and I got through 50 pages and couldn't get in an entire day. And I'm someone who can get through hundreds of pages in a day, so it kind of felt like, ooh, okay. But I'll explain why I'm going to put it back in the jar in a moment. So let's talk about what this book is about. So it happens, there's 2 time zones. Kate Morton, I've read a bunch of her books. I've still got 2 more to read, and then I will have read the entire collection that's available on paperback, because she released one I think January of this year, so it's still in hardback. It's not available in or at least I think it's only in hardback still, but should be available in paperback relatively soon, I would have thought. If not, maybe in the next couple of months, because obviously the build up to Christmas, they'll put hardbacks into paperback in order to, increase sales and everything. So there are 2 time zones here. We've got the 1860s, and we have got 2017. At least those are the time zones of the pages that I read. I say that because Kate Morton does this thing where on the back of the book she says it's very clear that these are our particular time zones, like 2. We've got your present, you've got your past. But then you'll find that the past will also jump about as well, because you need to know things about certain characters and everything. So you might be actually in like 3 or 4 time zones by the end of the book. But of the pages that I read, 2 time zones. And in present day, but because I didn't get that far into the book, there's not much I can tell you about it, except the past pages were really confusing. And the present pages were so boring and taking so long to actually get on with the story. I was just like, what's going on? This structuring is quite different than what Kate's done previously. Now, I'm not going to be someone who's like, no, you're formalistic, you have to follow your formula, because that doesn't allow the writer to actually explore. So I am more than happy for Kate to explore and do different things. No problem, all good. But the problem is that in the past we were in first person perspective with no idea who this person was, where they were, who they were talking about, what the hell they were doing. It was just it was really strange. Like, if I read a little bit, hang on. I've just lost the page. So let's just say, his mother blamed herself for what came next, but she'd have more easily halted day for meeting night than keep us apart. He called me his muse, his destiny. He said that he had known at once when he saw me through the hazy gaslight of the theatre foyer on Drury Lane. I was his muse, his destiny. He was mine. It was long ago. It was yesterday. Oh, I remember love. Things like that. And there, you've got these little short paragraphs and everything, and it was just like, and he's just like, yeah, you're talking about you're in Muse, then you're talking about that you're over there, then you're here, then you're going back to the jury, like, just tell me who. Well, if you don't want to tell me who you are because that's part of the mystery, then okay, don't tell me who you are. But can you at least tell me where you are? Can you just it felt like in the past everything was like da 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 da, and I'm completely utterly confused. And then when it comes to 2017, the present stuff, it was just this, and then da 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 this, da 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 this, and I was just. That was so jarring. Usually Kate Morton, she's, even when she's in the past and when she's in the present, she has a very consistent rhythm, which means that you are able to establish who you need to know in each area, get to know them, and then when the connections start forming, you are able to see things, you know, in ways you didn't realize, like the way that someone says a line suddenly makes complete and utter sense for them because you didn't know that connection before. So I'm not saying that she should stick to her usual structuring, but at times I was thinking, oh, Kate, what are you doing? Because I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling this. And as I said, yesterday I started again with it, and I found it really painful, and it only took me to page 50 an entire day. So I'm like, okay, is this a problematic AF structuring for the book as a whole? Or is it just for me? Or is it just because, as I said, because I've had 2 weeks of being here, there and everywhere and all this stuff going on. Plus, yesterday, my neighbour was doing stuff on the house, so I kept on hearing stuff. So I kept on being just all of a sudden noises work as rather than being nice and quiet. And, you know, if I'm just like, maybe yesterday wasn't a good headspace. And it's been 2 weeks and I was like, and I really want to get on to my next read. So I'm like, you know what? I am going to make the decision that perhaps this just wasn't the right time for me to read this book. That maybe because I've been so busy with work, my brain is constantly, you know, being on high alert and everything to stuff. And as I said, I've had away days, I've had training, I've had other stuff that I've had to deal with. Maybe this book has fallen into my lap at the worst period of 2 weeks that my brain was off doing something else. You know, I don't want to. I've just talked about how the structuring was very odd, and that's the only thing I can really say about it because of how far I got into this book. And that problem is still going to be there, obviously, when I read this book, but when I try it again. But I'm hoping that when I try it again, my brain is going to be in a better place and a lot clearer, and I won't have sounds like house stuff going on next door and stuff to do with work, you know, playing at the back of my mind to distract. You know, so I've taken the decision that although that problem structuring is still going to be there, I am going to put this back in the jar, and I'm going to come back to The Clockmaker's Daughter at a different time. Because, yeah, I think that is fair of me to do. I haven't done it before in the previous years that I have done this channel, and I think that goes to show how much I like Kate Morton's writing. The fact that obviously not every book or author produces is going to be universally liked by every fan. For example, with Kate Morton, The Lake House that I read a few weeks ago, I liked it, but I didn't love it. I've loved all of her other books I've read so far. But yeah, this is the first one where I've gone, ooh, okay. But I'm not willing to give up. I'm not a quitter. So I've made the decision to put this back into the jar and give it another go at a later time. It might be next year. It might be at the end of this year. I don't know, but I'm willing to do that. So there we go. I can't say anything more than that, because yeah, I didn't get that far into the book. But yeah, I'm willing to give it another go. So if you guys are happy with that, I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm gonna put this title back into my jar, and we'll get to it when I get to it, because I'm willing to give it another go. So there we go. So not many thoughts on the Clockmaker's Daughter, but let's see what my thoughts are the next time I try it. So there we go. So I'm not going to do my usual questions or anything, because obviously I need to actually read the book. But I am going to be moving straight on to my next read, which I've already announced, which is The Lighthouse Witches by C.J. Cook, which I'm super, super excited to read. And something that's a bit more mystical, a bit darker, a bit sinister, I think is something that I really want right now. From a book. So yeah, let's give The Lighthouse Witches a go, and I'll let you know my thoughts on that. And I have filmed a second video for you all today, so you'll be getting my second video shortly. All right, and guys, bye.